Hey everybody, and welcome to another random adventure with me, Justin. So today I am working here in Sandy, Utah, and I took a quick lunch break because about 5 miles away from where I was working is a place called Allen Park. It's right across the street basically from Westminster University, and recently, well, 2020, so a couple years ago, Salt Lake City has taken it over and is trying to turn something that wasn't into something that is. Basically, they don't know what to do with it. And at least that's what I've heard. And I've heard that Allen Park has some fantastic historical pieces to it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I was close to it. So let's go see what it is. So this park is public. It's off of 1300 East, and right away I'm noticing it's not really a public park. It definitely touts itself as a public park, but it's not very user friendly. There's really no parking here. You can see Allen Park. I guess the history of the park is George Allen and his wife Ruth bought the property back in the 1930s. He was a predominant doctor of the area, and he had big plans for this place to be basically a zoo. He was really big into aviation, really big into preservation, and if you want to help plan the future of Allen Park, you can plan for it. For now, this is coming soon. Final recommended concept design. Not exactly sure. Looks like they want to put in the Allen house, roost. This is where we're gonna enter there. It's not even like an acre, I don't think. I think it's pretty small. But that's kind of the concept of what we want to see eventually. For now, let's walk inside this small gate and see what there is to offer down this long corridor here. It is definitely a hidden park. The first thing is you enter, and the light shineth in the darkness. I can tell everything's pretty overgrown, either overgrown or not grown enough. Apparently immigration creek comes through here. I have no idea what that building is. Whatever it once was, definitely overgrown. This is kind of also known as Hobbitville of Salt Lake, and I've never seen Lord of the Rings. I've never seen any of that stuff, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect. It's kind of sad. You can tell this was a pretty cool park at one time. In fact, if you look down there, you can see the creek that runs through, just barely through the trees there. About right in there, in that area, is the creek. Out of focus. All nature is but art. Good advice here in Allen Park. Now that would be a cool fountain if it was working. It's a lot of cool art. And this building here was probably really cool at one time. You can see over in the corner there on the left, like an aviation bird cage. And of course it talks about the accomplishments of Dr. George Allen. If you'd like to read it, you can pause this and check it out. But he did help establish the Tracy Aviary and the Hogle Zoo and the Salt Lake Zoological Society. So again, he was very big into animals. Pretty cool. Right next door to that building, you can see it's kind of a mixture of old and new. If you look really close, you can see a deer back there. A baby deer that's still got its spots. And I don't know if that's a wild deer. It's got a pool to drink from. So I can't imagine it's wild, but it seems weird that they're caged up here too. And the weird part about that deer being there is that if you look to the right, there's an old building, and to the right of there, brand new, spanking new apartments. So it's just another case of the old getting mixed with the new, just kind of pushing it out, what to do with it. And for now, that little deer will just have to make do with what it's got. As I'm walking and exploring, it's so weird to see all the strange stuff here. The song of the birds for mirth, I think it says. Original art, but I have no idea what that is. Again, it's such a strange combination. Seems like this park was really cool at one time and it's just faded into nothing. I think the history of it just let it fade away. You can see little art pieces everywhere. Again, really big into birds. It's kind of creepy. I'm the only one here right now. And you see things like this old statue without a head. Underfoot, the divine soil. Overhead, the sun. It's a shame to see places like this that have just kind of faded away into nothing. And I really hope the city does something with it before it falls away into nothing. You could turn that into a museum of some sort, I suppose. It's odd to think that we're right in the middle of the city with nothing here. It's just quiet. You see like what must have been a pond at one time. And a little walkway for everybody. We'll walk over on that other side here, over on that area. This is the other side of the pool there, or the pond, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously there's a old aviary cage of some sort. It's so sad to think that somebody put so much work and effort into this, and now they just have to keep people from skateboarding. I'm sure that was used at one time as a skateboarding ramp. Over here, there's another old building. I can't imagine that you can do anything with this. Trees have fallen on top of it. You can't do anything to restore it other than tear it down or reproduce it. And here in front of there, fair laughs the morn, and soft the zephyr blows. A lot of work went into that. A lot of effort into just letting it fade away. Sad what 100 years will do when there's no one here to take care of it. Again, the Immigration Creek is down in that area over there. And it just goes back farther onto public lands. A thing of joy, or a thing of beauty, is joy forever, and they are never alone, that are accompanied by living thoughts. Very smart words. Probably never to be seen by most people. Again, I've heard about this place before, but I've never been, and it's so creepy. Knowledge comes, but wisdom lingers. How sad is it that somebody made that, put all that work into that owl, and nothing. Just sits here, rotting away. Now again, I'm not very knowledgeable about this place, and I see this cabin over there with a bridge that leads over to it. I'm assuming that's part of the property. It's hard to really get an idea of how big that cabin is. It's huge, with that bridge that goes over the river, over the creek, and comes right here. That's why I'm assuming it's part of the property. And another sign, nature never wears a mean appearance. The leaves of life keep falling one by one. And how awesome would that be to live at that cabin? So sad that we can't get over there just because of a fence, which I don't blame them. That cabin's probably falling apart. Flowers preach to us if we will hear. And I have no idea what those posts are sticking out of there, those pipes. In my mind, I'm thinking that it was once light fixtures. You can kind of see the wiring hanging out. How cool would that be at night to see those lit up? And then right across from the cabin, there's another old building here. This one looks a little newer than the rest. It's got a number on it. So I don't know if people lived here at one time and it was maybe more than just a zoo. And again, it just leads more to the back. Okay, so this kind of gives you an idea of where we're at in the city. Immigration Creek, 2 miles upstream. Near this Canyon Creek, Brigham Young said this is the place. I don't know if that's exactly 2 miles. Praise be the fathomless universe. And again, my theory was at the top of there, those pipes were lights. Again, that's kind of proof that I think I was right. Give me men to match the mountains, with a beautiful creek right behind it that leads up to Immigration Canyon. Man, how cool is this? On the other side here, there's a little placard that talks about Immigration Creek history. If you're from Utah, you must know about the history here. Again, just walking back more, there's a bunch of little cabins all along here. Look at those homes. Look at this. How incredible. And right behind there, you can see those are new apartments, probably in the last, I don't know, 10, 20 years they were built. But look, there's a well. I gotta learn more about the history of this place, man. Look at this. Look on the chimney there. Can you see? I'll zoom in here, see if you can see. It says Mary Rose. I don't know if that was the name of the person living there, or perhaps they named the buildings. How cool. It reminds me a lot of like when I went to scout camp as a kid. They had all the little cabins for everybody to live in. But there is a house number next to the door there. So obviously at one time people lived here. And I don't see any of the other houses with any names on them. Across the street here, there's another plaque talking about Allen Park as a bird sanctuary in the city. Again, with all these trees and everything, I'm sure they had hawks, starlings. Utah has a lot of birds. You could tell this was an area where they really encouraged that. I heard at one time there was a lot of peacocks coming through here that they just let live here, but I haven't seen any yet. List to nature's teachings. So I don't know if the city took out the peacocks or moved them to another location, or maybe they're just hidden in the woods and I haven't seen them yet. Look at this. How cool would it be to be able to go through those buildings? What must it look like in there? Is there furniture you left, you think? Is it just empty and falling apart? What kind of neighborhood was this? Man. There's birds right there, some doves. I don't know if you can see them. I don't want to scare them off. But I did. Look at this. More houses. If anybody knows anything about this place, Allen Park, if you've got more information, I'd love to know more. That cute little cabin there. Because all it is basically is just a park where you walk down this trail and it comes to a dead end right here at this sculpture. And that's it. Just like I say, less property than I thought. Just old homes. Mosaic poems. Now this is what I really want to learn about. The mosaic poems of Allen Park. It says Dr. George Allen created these in his later years, sharing his passion for poetry with visitors. According to his daughter Mary Rose, his mother Ruth would find discarded tile in the local tile store's dumpster, and she would bring home the tile to her husband, who would then grind the pieces in their basement to form the art you see here. So he basically retired and made art. Man. These I wonder about though, like, was this a gathering spot? Intellectigo ute credam? No idea. Pour down your warmth, great sun. God's in his heaven, all rights right with the world. Keep your eyes on the stars and your feet on the ground. How great would that be if those were still working, had light fixtures in it? How cool would that be? I sure hope the city does something to restore some of this and bring it back. How sad it is that these are just falling into disrepair. I must say it's a peaceful park. I'm here on my lunch break on a Thursday. No one else is here. It's quiet, hidden, and yet outside this park is chaos. Traffic was horrible. Oh, look at that branch just sitting against there. Somebody needs to move that. Really, as I'm walking through this park, I'm thinking about the past. You know, again, 1930s, it's nearly 100 years since this place was bought and started. I don't know a whole lot of the history here, but I know, like most places, history is getting lost. It's sad, but it's just the way of life. And hopefully the city will be able to put something together and preserve this the best they can. I'm certain that there's not much they can do for most of these buildings. So they'll either have to leave the fence up, and it's just a place where we can come and enjoy the past and think about who may have been here, what took place here. It's basically just a kind of a old-fashioned aviation or aviary subdivision. Not aviation, that's planes flying. This is more birds, different kind. But if you haven't been here, again, it doesn't take long. I had 20 minutes today to walk through here. I recommend that you come and check it out. Again, it's Allen Park, and if you know anything, if you know history, you can leave a comment. I'm sure no one will even see this video, except for maybe my family. Maybe I'll have to bring them here someday. If you're in the neighborhood, why not stop by? Again, it's across from Westminster University here in Utah, Salt Lake City area. Again, thanks for joining me on a random adventure. Talk to you next time.